4 summers ago, I remember sitting outside on our balcony after breaking my fast on the last Ramadan night before Eid. I had just put down the phone after making a call to my grandparents, who at that moment were already preparing for celebrations. All my aunts and uncles would make it to my grandpa's house, and they would spend the day together. I could hear the chaos of the children running about as they chased each other, all while I listened to my uncles complain about filling the house with coffee and sweets just in time for the guests to arrive. I remember thinking, that was so beautiful, mashallah. I had recently been thinking a lot about this, how, as much as it has been a privilege to grow up in the West, it meant that me and my family had compromised the chance to grow old with our relatives. I felt this especially growing up in a neighborhood that lacked a sense of diversity. I was the only Arab Muslim girl in my senior class. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a blessing to come from a small knit family. We really trusted each other. When it was good, it was really good. And when we fell together. But there were some nights, especially during Eid or Ramadan, that I felt like I missed my family. But how could I miss them if I had never really known them? That year, we decided to take a trip to Jordan during my spring break. And I remember that I promised myself I would take advantage of every moment. I wanted to build a relationship with my grandmother. I remember that I wrote down all the things that I wanted to ask her. And on that trip, I did just that. We lived every moment. Every morning I sat with her and we talked from politics to her youth. She even casually noted to me how her and my grandpa had lived an epic love story of separation and reunion after she fled her village in Nablus, Palestine at the age of 16. That visit was everything that I wanted. Bonds were sewed where they were meant to be, and when it was time to leave, I cried the whole plane ride back. And then, 4 weeks after I arrived back home, we got a phone call. My grandma had passed away suddenly. The reality of that permanent loss became apparent to me. I will not grow up with my family, and I can't go back in time to redo those years of separation. And so the feelings of isolation continued. My heart was in the East, and my physical body was in the West. Not long after I came back, I found some words I scribbled on a piece of paper while I was there that read, "Back home, I'm a tourist in my own streets. And at home, I'm an immigrant, overcoming the feat called the American dream." I realized that deep down, I knew the answer all along. I am who I am for a reason. I am here for a reason, and I know that I can do good with it. In my front lawn, there's a jasmine vine that intertwines with its friend, the maple tree, with a beautiful embrace between two countries. A reminder to me that I can utilize the privilege of my education and the experience with diversity to help address the issues that separated our families in the first place. In the words of Khalil Gibran, the universe is my country and the human family is my tribe.
My name is Hannah Poulton, and I'm here interviewing Muslims. Here's one now. Hi, do you speak Muslim? Is your name Aladdin? Do you eat only halal meat?
Is my mom gonna see this?
My friend was sitting there.
Are you oppressed?
What?
Are you bald under there?
No.
Do you have ears?
Who are you?
Hannah, what are you doing? Oh, I'm interviewing Muslims.
Hannah, I'm Muslim.
Well, what do you do in your spare time?
I hang out with you.
Oh. It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, you don't even fit the profile of a Muslim. You're wearing jeans. You drive a car. You have blue hair. You have a job. Where's your headscarf, by the way? Is it at the dry cleaners?
If I had a nickel for each time a person looked confused or didn't believe me when I said that I am Muslim, well, I would have a whole lot of nickels. This really made me dig a little deeper to find out, who am I? Of course, I got sidetracked and ended up getting hungry, but a girl's gotta eat. I eventually began to write down what makes me, me. I'm addicted to the gym. I love yoga. I love rapping as if I am the female version of Eminem. I love burning rotis while trying to help my mom cook. I love talking to my dad about philosophies on whether the inside of the earth is hollow or not, or if that really was a UFO we saw last month. After reflecting on each aspect of my life, I finally came to a conclusion. Allah has blessed me with so many privileges and opportunities. Being Muslim does not only mean praying 5 times a day and fasting for all 30 days during Ramadan. There is so much more to it, and every aspect is beautiful. If I miss a prayer, is that supposed to mean that I am no longer a Muslim? No. If I accidentally eat something while fasting, will I be thrown out of the masjid? No. If I don't wear a hijab, does that make me any less of a Muslim? No. Islam is something that is in your heart. It's about where your deen is. Just because we present ourselves in a different way does not make us any less. Being Muslim is my identity and everything I aspire to be. In my eyes, being Muslim is about being a good person. At the end of the day, if anyone were to ask me who I am or what I do, my answer will always remain the same. I am Muslim.
I always adored the still image of a woman. As a young girl, my fingertips would excitedly turn the pages of Vogue, absorbing the angles, lighting, and mood of each shot. I would sit for hours with my father looking at portraits of Hollywood stars. It was my happy place. Deep in my stomach and my imagination, I knew that I could take those photos too. But also deep inside me lived the shy girl from the small working class town where everything seemed out of reach. I would live in denial of this by withdrawing into my own world of theatre, books, horses and photos. I would take my camera with me everywhere and imagine that one day everybody would see my work. I built a darkroom in a bedroom and created a portfolio good enough to win a scholarship to a prestigious film school in London. I made documentaries that went to European film festivals and had my sights set on becoming an accomplished filmmaker and photographer. And then I met my husband. My trip to Egypt and meeting my husband changed my life. I dropped everything and moved there. From small town England to big city Cairo, I felt excited and curious and eager to fit in and be loved. My passions for photography and filmmaking were put aside for my passion to be a partner and a wife. My new life across the world was all consuming and exciting. Slowly but surely, I forgot about why I went there in the first place, to make films. I became obsessed with my relationship and my wedding plans. And then the roof caved in. 3 months before the big day, my mother died, and I plunged into despair, but the outer me stayed steadfast and we continued with the marriage. The following year I had my first daughter and I moved further and further away from my hopes and dreams. At the same time, I relished motherhood and became the selfless woman that gives and gives, to husband, to children, to business, to everything that I touched. Except me. I was nowhere to be found. I immersed myself in my role of wife and mother to the extent of invisibility. It was as if the loss of my own maternal bond ignited in me a yearning to create my own, so as to alleviate the loss, pain, and guilt I felt inside. I longed for a life of beauty, art, and self-expression. This call to beauty pushed me to pack up my home in Egypt and bring my family to Canada. I had dreamed of the mountains of British Columbia, and I knew I was being called there. By now I had 3 daughters. One day I gave my camera to my eldest and asked her to go and take photos of her sisters and the neighborhood kids. When I saw what she had captured, my heart stopped beating. I could see in those shots an inherent, instinctual understanding of photography. In that moment, everything changed. Suddenly, I saw myself in her photos. I saw excitement and potential, possibility and beauty. I had come back to life. I nurtured the artist in her and encouraged and supported her every step of the way. And then it was my turn. It was on my birthday, September 26th, that I began to shoot again. An incredible woman asked me to take her portraits. I was terrified, but I said yes. It was a day we will never forget. The result was stunningly beautiful, and the process was everything I had dreamed about. In that moment, with that woman, I had captured exactly what the 12-year-old me had known I could do, but had never believed was possible. My 3 daughters are all now pursuing passions that I once had, and through that I am once again reliving them. Bit by bit, my layers of giver, conformer, silent partner, and satisfier are peeling away to reveal my true form. My love for art and beauty, social justice, and my connection to the divine have re-emerged. This refinding of self can appear through cracks of light that you never knew were there. There is so much power and possibility in the place we love to be and the things we love to do. Search deeply for that place of beauty within you, even if it shakes up the very foundation you stand on. Never give up a part of yourself to anyone. The world cannot truly hear you if you are not whole. Keep growing and trying and failing and dreaming. I honor the sacred feminine line that brought me to this place, right here, right now. I'm gonna stand up, show up, and take the photo, whether you like it or not.
سلمى يا سلامة رحنا وجينا بالسلامة.
When people ask me about my story, I don't know what to say. What story should I tell them? I have many. Sometimes I feel like my story is the story of many people, all mashed up together. But today, I'm going to tell you one. The story of the lifeline of all my other stories. This is Selma, a strong, feisty woman, and my mom.
زرع ونستي انه ازرع واشيل واحط وهاي من اشوف نبته لطيفه وحلوه نروح لاي مكان اريد اخذها وياي وحتى يعني اي زرع عندي ما يعني صدق يعني انقهر من اتركه وراي من اسافر واحنا تنقلنا بعده مكانات فاحنا طالعين وياي الولد ديمو وعبودي زين كل واحد جاي زرعه ونزلوا من الطياره شايلين كل واحد زرع يعني فشي عزيز عليه ما اريد اتركه ما احب اتركه.
She held the family together through so many ups and downs. She was always the one who, whatever life threw at her and our family, stayed determined to be the one who writes the endings and makes them good, happy endings. She gave birth to me in 1974 in Lebanon. I was few months old when the Lebanese Civil War started. And a few years later, we found ourselves back in Iraq, where my dad became a political prisoner and was tortured for 3 years, or 1,000 days, as he puts it. She was only 36 years old then, with 4 little kids. I was 5, and my little brother was 2 years old.
بديع طبعا احنا اي شاي اخر ما مخدر طبعا ما نتونس بيه ريحة الهيل بالخشب. المنطقة اللي احنا ساكنين بيها بعيدة عن المنطقة اللي نبني بيها البيت. طبعا أنا كنت موظفة أشتغل فآخذ الأولاد وياي بالسيارة أحطهم وآخذهم من المنطقة هاي للبيت وأنزل طبعا بالكراكيب بالإحجار وبالمدري شنو ويا العمال وهذا صح وهذا غلط وهذا مدري إيش وهذا يعني إلى أن يعني أحاول أشياء الغلط أشرف عليها والأشياء الصح يعني أحاول الأشياء أرتب كل شيء يكون صح بالبناء لأنه وحدي وماكو أحد وياي فما أريد يطلع شيء غلط.
My dad came back with lots of physical and emotional scars. She took care of that and never stopped working or providing for the family. At age 42, she gave birth to my youngest brother, Abdullah. It was a refreshing addition to the family. A baby who hadn't witnessed the hardship. Little did we know, it was not the end of it.
طلعنا إنه مفكرين إنه يعني كم سنة ونرجع فصارت الظروف إنه يعني مو مال رجعة ما نقدر نرجع نطلع الأشياء اللي يعني نقدر نديم حياتنا وفعلا هي هاي اللي دامت حياتنا برا طالعين أي شيء طالعين أي طبعا. فبالنسبة لي عندي جرأة أقدر أتصرف بهيجي مواضيع. بس بنفس الوقت يعني أخاف مثلا ولدي أخاف أحملهم، بس مرات أنت من صايرة بموقف يعني موقف صعب وتعرفين إنه ما عندك غير هذا الحل، تضطرين يعني تجازفين. فكنت يعني بعض الأشياء مثلا ذهبي مثلا يعني أنا أشيله، ولا هو مو هواية يعني فتشي، بس يعني ممكن يمشينا فترة. طبعا ذا الأطفال كانوا يخافون وأنا هم أخاف عليهم، بس بنفس الوقت يعني أشجعهم إنه يعني ما عندنا غير حل، لازم تكون جريء، لازم كذا، لازم. فدائما يعني هيجي مواقف تحتاج جرأة وتحتاج تصميم، شي مالتي وأريد أعيش بيه وأعيش ولدي وهاي بالوقت اللي أنا ما يمنعوني أطلعها، فأضطر أصير جريئة حتى أقدر أخلص الشي اللي أريده.
The Japanese believe that cracks and scars in a plate makes it more valuable. So they fill it with gold and light. 3 more wars, 5 countries later, my mom is still the glue that keeps our family together. She's still determined to write the endings and fill the scars with gold and light.
The pages you read will reveal our stories. The faces you see will reveal our battles. The voices you hear will reveal our strength, our power. Like birds soaring, we are not caged. We are not limited, we are limitless. We are colors unknown to human eyes. We are stories unknown to pen and paper. Our struggles have never become us, yet they became our goal, our finish line. Ones we crossed over and over again because we are warriors. We are fighters. Break us like glass, we become pieces in which we create new art from. You see fragile, we see sharp edges and cut skin. We are the wounds that bleed, the scars that become our reminders, a reminder that we are doing this for a reason. We are who we are for a reason. And that reason is not for you, but for ourselves. This is for us, ourselves. I've experienced Islamophobia multiple times in my life. One of the more recent events was on December 4th, 2017. I was heading home from work, taking the SkyTrain Canada Line. I sat a few seats away from a man who, because of my hijab, verbally, physically, and sexually assaulted me, threatened to kill me and all Muslims when he struck me across the face. It was until I got hit in the face did one person push the man off of me. I was able to take my phone out, take a picture of the man, and call 911. I felt guilty when the event happened, and I was there sitting on the stairs outside Yaletown Station. We were waiting for the police. I'm in the moment, I'm texting my dad, and then it's just like, how am I supposed to tell this to my mom? How is she supposed to react to it? He told me not to pick up my phone when she calls me because she can't handle things like that. And so I just remember being there and having her call me constantly. And I couldn't pick up the phone. And I just thought to myself, how am I supposed to explain this to my mother? That everything that she feared for, it happened, you know what I mean? I hated myself at that moment. I hated myself. I hated the fact that I accepted that promotion to stay late, to have to take the train. I hated the fact that I didn't text them that night telling them I missed my bus. I hated myself, and I felt so guilty for not listening to them. Going home, I just remember being in the shower and just unable to speak, unable to think of anything. My plan was to never speak about what happened. I just wanted it to just be over. And then I woke up and I realized I can't do that to myself. I can't bury it. I already buried so much within me for so many years. I had to speak up about it. And having that happen, immediately within 24 hours, the story went viral. The way that I took that negative experience and created a positive outcome was through my activism. Being only 19, people usually see older faces speaking on what we can do to better our community, better the country. And having experienced what I have firsthand, I wanted to take advantage of that at a young age. I also like to use my poetry as a form of art to create a different perspective on it. You can have someone go on stage and talk and it's great, but having it in a form where you're keeping the audience engaged at all times through spoken words. And I think that's where the beauty comes out of it, that I was able to take something that was so negative and turn it into a form of art, turn it into a form of awareness. My hope for the future is really to be an advocate, be someone that people look up to and are inspired. I want to be that voice that doesn't just talk about one group of people. I want to be that voice that encourages minorities to share their stories, embrace what they've experienced, take advantage of it, not let it hold them down. The same way that sometimes I felt like I was being held down by my story. In a way, I feel like it's empowered me to do more. And I want that. I want people to hear my story, see what I do, read my poetry, and feel a connection. I want them to feel connected. I want them to feel like they have a purpose in this life, that they need to continue on and to love themselves and to love what they do and embrace anything that they've ever gone through and turn it into something better, not something that holds them down.